Is Lipscomb in?
I'll tell you Sunday.
What a wonder here.
What's your answer?
What's your answer? I'll answer when you guys can all that.
Okay, first answer of the day, Brad. What's your hunch?
Exciting time. Everybody's 0-0, and it's been a 3-month, 3.5, 4-month grind of 20 games, dating back to December. I think you look at basically every team in this conference has had ups and downs and momentum swings and things happen, injuries, so on and so forth. We saw a couple wild comebacks yesterday. You see different things happen. All that gets put to bed, and you go with a sense of excitement. There's a different air about a conference tournament. It's consecutive games and consecutive days. Fan involvement and excitement is really a lot of fun, and it only takes a little bit of a wave to create a tidal wave, and that's what really makes this tournament special. I think it's exciting as heck this year. We've got the #1 league in the country, great coaches, great players, and would not be surprised if anybody won it. There's no the league's been that good, so we're excited. We're looking forward to it.
Brad, a couple weeks ago, people might have said you were the most dangerous team coming into it. What's changed over this last little stretch here?
Oh, our opponents have been good. I mean, you catch an Indiana team that's playing great. I think some of it's matchups. I think yesterday Penn State's a team that doesn't excite me too much in terms of having to face them. Indiana's that same thing. You start looking at first time in my history as a coach, I opened in zone. I did that based on matchups, and we've had problems with guys like Stevens, guys like Reeves, and so it's that's been part of the last few games is neutralizing those type of guys, and then we've turned it over a little bit more. Then we had a great run. We were turning over 8, 9, 10 times a game, and yesterday was really uncharacteristic. With 18, but I think as much has to do with matchups as anything.
How unique is the Big Ten this year in terms of, you say you wouldn't be surprised if anyone won the tournament? Have you been in, can you remember a conference season like that in any of your stops?
Well, yeah, I mean the one year in the Big 12 the league was loaded. I think Lon had been to the Final Four the year before, and ended up, I think, at the bottom. And they were the team that was everybody's hard luck, throw one in from half court, kind of thing that happened. That league was very, very similar, but there's no easy game. There's no easy team. And when I look at Rutgers last year, we played them the last game of the year, and then all of a sudden they go to the tournament. Win a few, so it's this league this year's top to bottom as good as I've seen.
What are some of the key things you're just trying to clean up heading into the tournament?
Can't turn the ball over. Things traditionally slow down in postseason play. The grind, learning to play good offense. Your offense has to help your defense. You can't give other teams baskets by simply turning it over. And then I think that on the transition side, we've been inconsistent on that end. We can't give up. Yesterday was our best defensive efficiency rating of the year in the first half, facing our zone. But also it was one of our poorest in transition. Now Penn State has a lot to do with that because they're an elite transition team. But we've got to shore those things up.
Right. Trent might have been playing his best during that win streak. What's changed for him the last couple weeks?
No, I don't know if anything. I think you start looking at, like yesterday, he got 2 shots. probably want to give Wheeler a little credit for that. You're talking about a team that has an elite point guard defender in Wheeler, an elite wing defender in Reeves, who I think is the best defender in our league, and then a guy in Watkins, who was last year's Defensive Player of the Year. Teams make that hard, and it's still about a good floor game and doing the other things. Offense can be fleeting at times, but I think he's playing exceptionally well, and yesterday was just a tough day for him.
What can this week do for you guys heading into next year?
Oh, I don't even think like that. That would be foolish for me to not give my full attention to Aaron Jordan and Drew and these seniors. So we want to go play our best against Northwestern, and we get the opportunity the next day to go play Iowa and play our best that game. And that's where my focus will be.
This message to the young guys that haven't experienced this one and done postseason yet.
Yeah, this is what it's about. This is why we lift the weights. This is why we train. This is why you get in the gym and spend all the hours so that you can enjoy these moments. And it's what makes March Madness. It's what makes basketball special. It's truly the excitement of it, and it's a completely different feel until you've coached it and you played it. It's got a different vibe to it, and it's an exciting one. And the enthusiasm of the fans and the buzz in the arenas are a little bit different, and it's not the day in, day out grind of a regular season. So it's why you see the upsets, and it's exciting and fun.
For being in Chicago, in your state, facing Northwestern Illinois here tomorrow or Wednesday, but just in general, it being back in the state of Illinois.
Well, I'm excited as heck about that. I mean, I think the Big Ten is predominantly a Midwestern league, and it's got close proximity. I think it's one of the elite basketball cities in the world, and it's knowledgeable fans, and it's an opportunity to do it here at home, and it should be a great atmosphere for everybody involved, but especially for the Fighting Illini.
Two close games with them, and you played them recently. What's going to be the key against Northwestern?
Well, I think there's a variety of things. I think when you start looking at the numbers, they really haven't turned the ball over for a team that's not playing with a true point. Chris has done an unbelievable job of managing that situation. I think they've got two of the elite players in our conference, in Pardon and Law. We can't give them threes. They got some great looks in the second half of that game, and then we've got to stay aggressive. We've been able to get out in transition and get some easy baskets, and then as in postseason play, it's about rebounding and getting to the foul line.
What are the challenges of seeing a team 3 times in the season? It happens every year, but this.
No, I think it's you get more familiarity. I think most of the time you see the games slow down. The games become a little more planned out, so to speak. I think as you become familiar with teams, you understand personnel. So there's none of the I don't know factor for players and for coaches. So those become grinded out games, and then it becomes about running really good offense, playing extremely hard, and who gets the 50-50 balls, and that's what postseason basketball comes down to.
Brett, I think some fans, when it comes to freshmen, would just like to throw them in, see what they got sometimes. How do you make the decision to, with freshmen especially, whether you could throw them in a certain situation or not?
Oh, I think it's based on practice. It's based on I want them to be as successful as they can be. I don't put a lot of thought the way that was asked. I think it's more about making sure that they're successful, and our team is, and so that's pretty much if they can help us win, we're going to play them.
Where do you think Georgie's at coming off playing with the sinus infection? How he played yesterday, and where he's kind of at health-wise going in?
Yeah, he was really good yesterday. He was still kind of wheezing and dealing with that, but he's people have no idea. Georgie's a pretty tough kid and fights through all that, and so I think Paul said he was better this morning and feeling better. So it was nice to see him. He played with some old pop and energy yesterday that we hadn't seen in a couple games.
With the game slowing down and it being one and done, do you see the rotation maybe tightening up?
Maybe. I don't think there's. I think one of the advantages we do have is we do have depth. I think every game's got its own identity. It's not where you don't plan for the next day. You plan for the moment, the next play. So we'll see. A lot of times it becomes a slower paced game, and you get timeouts used maybe a little bit differently to rest guys. That becomes part of it. But I think you take every game for what its value is at that moment, and make those choices. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Lipscomb is in. Only because the Pac-12 stinks.